Hi everyone, welcome to today's GCSE Higher Revision video. There's 82 days of going to your GCSE Maths exam, and today we're going to be looking at 3 different topics. So I've actually taken a couple of other videos and combined them into this one video today so that we can bring a few other topics a bit sort of earlier. So for instance, tomorrow we're going to be doing 3D trigonometry and Pythagoras. So because we've done Pythagoras and trigonometry already, I thought it'd be a good idea to do the 3D trigonometry and Pythagoras tomorrow instead. So today I've combined a few topics, and they're ones that are generally quite straightforward on the higher paper. They're best buys, so working out which one's better value for money, including questions whenever perhaps you've got percentages off and discounts and things like that. We're going to be looking at currency or exchange rates, so how to convert between currencies and answer some questions on that. So again, quite straightforward. Those are both number topics. And then the combined mean, so statistics topic, and working out perhaps if you've got class A and class B, and class A do a test and class B do a test, and you know the averages for both of those and how many students are in each class, how to work out the class for both class A and B. So we're looking at the combined mean, so the mean for combining groups and so on. So today we're going to be looking at those 3 topics, and hopefully they're quite straightforward topics. The only thing I would say is that we don't know with best buys, currencies, and combined mean. The context or situations in the questions might change a great deal. So I'd highly recommend you have a look at the practice questions for each of those today and spend some time working through those. So today we're going to be looking at these 3 topics. Let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at best buys. So here's a best buys question. We're told that packets of biscuits are sold in 2 sizes, a regular packet or a large packet, and we're asked which packet is better value for money. So feel free now to pause this video and to try this question yourself. Okay, so in terms of this question, there's a couple of different approaches which you may have used. One approach would be to find the cost of one biscuit. So you could look at the regular packet. So it's 78p for the 6 biscuits. If we divide that by 6, we get that's equal to 13p per biscuit. So for the regular pack, it's 13p per biscuit. For the large pack, we would then take the cost, which is 100 pence. I'm doing them pence here, so we're going to do 100 pence, and we're going to divide that by 8 because it's 8 biscuits. And then when we divide 100 by 8, we get that's equal to 12.5p per biscuit. And as you can see, the cost per biscuit is higher for the regular one than the large one. So the large pack is better value for money. 12.5p per biscuit is cheaper than 13p per biscuit. So the large pack is better value. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question, rather than being the number of biscuits, this time we've got jars of coffee. And we've got a 200-gram jar of coffee and a 320-gram jar of coffee. And we've got the prices. We've got the 200-gram jar of coffee costs £7.40 and a 320-gram jar of the same coffee costs £12.16. And we've been asked which jar is better value for money. So again, feel free to try this question yourself, press pause and try it yourself. Now with this question, there's a few approaches you could use. You could find the cost for a certain amount of coffee, so find the lowest common multiple of 200 and 320, and then find how much it would cost to buy that. Alternatively, what you could do is find the cost per gram, or you could work out how many grams you get for each penny. Now in this question, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out the cost per gram. So I'm going to take the cost for the small jar, so I'm going to write the small jar. Now with the small jar, it costs £7.40, so that's 740p, and I'm going to divide that by 200 grams. So that'll tell me how many pence it costs per gram. So 740 divided by 200 is equal to 3.7. So it's 3.7p per gram in the small jar. For the large jar, the cost is £12.16, so that's 1,216 pence, and we're going to divide that by 320 because it's 320 grams. So if we divide the cost by the number of grams, we'll find the cost per gram. That's equal to 3.8p per gram. Now, if we compare the cost per gram, the small jar is 3.7p per gram, whereas the large jar is actually more expensive, 3.8p per gram. So actually the small jar is better value for money, the small jar. So that's how I would approach a question like that. Now, there are other approaches, but that's how I would approach that question. Okay, let's have a look at one last best buys question. So we're told that candles normally cost £9 each, and that 2 websites have special offers. There's Corbettmaths Candles, which is buy 3, get 1 free, or Candle World, which is 20% off. And Maddie wants to buy 14 candles. Which website should he use? So feel free to pause this video now and try this question yourself. Okay, so let's find out the cost of 14 candles and Corbettmaths candles. So let's write Corbett up here, Corbett, and we'll find the cost on Corbettmaths candles. So he wants to buy 14 candles. So that could be buy 3, get 1 free. So altogether there he would get 4 of them. He'd buy another 3, get 1 free. That's now 8. Buy 3, get another 1 free. That's now 12 candles he's bought altogether. Now he wants 14, so he's not actually going to buy another free. He's just going to buy 2 more. And unfortunately, he's not going to get any free with that one. So if Maddie went to the Corbettmaths Candles website, he'd buy 3, get 1 free, buy another 3, get 1 free, buy another 3, get 1 free, and buy another 2. So altogether, he's buying 3, 6, 9, 11 candles, and he's getting 3 free. So that means we need to find the cost of 11 candles. Now each candle costs £9, so if we do 11 multiplied by £9, that's equal to £99. So the cost on Corbettmaths Candles would be £99. Okay, now let's consider Candle World. Now Candle World's just 20% off. So let's find the cost of the candles. Well, he wants to buy 14 candles at £9 each. So if we do 14 multiplied by 9, that's equal to £126. So that's the cost of those candles. Now he gets 20% off. So we now just need to reduce this by 20%. So there's a few different ways you can do this. If it was a non-calculator paper, or let's actually do this like a non-calculator question now, 10% would be, well, if we divide by 10, that'd be £12.60. Doubling it would be £25.20. And now to find the cost of those candles, you just need to do the £126, take away the £25.20p. So the cost in Candle World would be £100.80. And we were asked which one's better value for money or which website should you use. You should use Corporate Candles because it's only £99, so Corporate Candles. And that's it. Okay, now let's have a look at currency or exchange rates, because sometimes you might encounter currency or exchange rate questions in your exam. So we've got Nicola went to Italy. She changed £900 into euros. The exchange rate is £1 is €1.40. Change £900 into euros. So for each pound, she gets €1.40. So we just need to do 900 lots of €1.40, €1,260. And that's it. So if we want to change £900 into euros, we just need to multiply by the number in the exchange rate, that 1.4, and that's it. Okay, now we're told a watch costs €105. How much is this in pounds? So now we're working backwards. So we just need to see how many lots of €1.40 would go into €105. So we're just going to now divide by the number in the 105 divided by 1.4 or 1.40 would be equal to £75. And that's it. Okay, now this is a question for you to try. So we're putting together two topics here, the best buys and the currency questions, and give this one a shot. So we're told that Donna bought a 200-gram bar of chocolate in Wales for £3.20, and she bought 300-gram bar for the same chocolate in France for €5.70, and the exchange rate is £1 is €1.20. Was the chocolate better value in Wales or France? So feel free to pause the video now to try this question. Okay, so with this question, there's lots of different approaches you could have used. Now, I'm going to focus on one particular approach in this question, but you may have used different approaches and you'll get the right answer, hopefully, as long as we agree. So, we've got the Donna bought a 200-gram bar of chocolate in Wales for £3.20. Now, here we've got the price in France is €5.70. I'm going to change this £3.20 into euros. So I'm going to take the £3.20 and I'm going to multiply by 1.2 or 1.20 to change the pounds into euros. €3.84. So that means the cost of the chocolate in Wales in euros would be €3.84. Now we need to find which one's better value for money, because one's a 200-gram bar and one's a 300-gram bar. Now, there's a few approaches we could use. We could find the price for 1 gram. We could find the price for 100 gram by half in this one and dividing this one by 3. We could even find the price of 600 grams of chocolate, and that would work as well. So there's lots of different approaches you could use here, and it might depend on whether it's a calculator question or a non-calculator question. So for instance, the cost for 1 gram would probably be my approach for a calculator question, or as a non-calculator question, I might find the cost for 600 grams of chocolate. Okay, so what I'm going to do in this question is I'm just going to find the cost for 100 grams. So I'm going to find the cost for 100 grams of chocolate in both places. So I'm going to start off with Wales. So the cost of 100 grams in Wales, I would need to divide this by 2. So this €3, so this €3.84, I'm going to divide that by 2. And if I do €3.84 divided by 2, that's equal to €1.92. So it's €1.92 per 100 grams of chocolate in Wales. In terms of France, well, the price in France, we got more chocolate in France. We got 300 grams. We want the price of 100 grams. So I'm going to divide this price by 3. So I'm going to take the €5.70 and I'm going to divide that by 3. And €5.70 divided by 3 would be equal to €1.90 per 100 grams. So as you can see, the price for the chocolate in France is cheaper for 100 grams. It's €1.90, whereas in Wales it's €1.92. Well, was the chocolate better value in France or Wales? The answer would be France. And that's it. Okay, so now let's have a look at our last topic. So this time we're going to look at the statistics topic, and it's the combined mean. So let's have a look at a typical question. We've got the 25 students in Class A and 15 students in Class B, and they sit the same test. The mean score in Class A is 80, and the mean test score in Class B is 60. And we've been asked to find the mean test score for all 40 students. So we want to find the mean test score for all the 40 students. Now, if you want to try this question yourself, feel free to press pause and try it yourself. Okay, so if I was doing this question, the first thing I would do is I would focus on the students in Class A to begin with, because I know that their mean is 80. And remember, to find the mean, we add up all the values and we divide by the number of values, which is 25, and we get an answer of 80. So if we take 80 and multiply that by 25, we can find out what all the test scores in Class A add up to. So 80 multiplied by 25 is equal to 2,000. So if you added up all the test scores in Class A, the scores would add up to 2,000. Now, in terms of Class B, there's 15 students and their mean is 60. So that means if we added up all 15 test scores and divided by 15, we get 60. So if we take the 60, this is Class B, if we take the 60 and multiply that by 15, we can get the grand total. And 60 times 15 is equal to 900. So we know that if we add up all the test scores in Class A, there's the grand total of 2,000 marks. If we add up all the test scores in Class B, there's a total of 900 marks. And we've been asked to work out the mean test score for all 40 students. So remember, to find the mean, we add up all of the values. So if we add up these values here, these totals, we can get the grand total for all the 40 students, which would be 2,900. And then we're going to divide it by 40, the number of students. So 2,900 divided by 40 would be equal to 72.5. So that means that the mean test score for all the 40 students was 72.5. So that's it. As you can see here, Class A done particularly well. They're above that average for all 40 students, and Class B, they found it a bit trickier. And that's it. So the combined mean for those 40 students would be 72.5. Okay, let's have a look at one last question. So this time we've got a combined mean question, and we're told there's 30 students in Class A and 20 students in Class B, and they sit the same test. The mean test score for the students in Class A is 43, and the mean test score for all 50 students in Classes A and B is 48. And this time we've been asked to work out the mean test score for the students in Class B. So feel free to press pause and try this question. Okay, so in this question, we were told altogether there's 50 students and we've got their mean test scores. That means if we added up all the test scores for all the 50 students and divided by 50, we get 48. So if we take 48 and multiply that by 50, what do we get? Well, 48 multiplied by 50 is equal to 2,400. So that means that all the students, if you add up all the marks, we get a grand total of 2,400. Now, we know that in Class A, there's 30 students, and we know what they got we know their mean. Their mean is 43. So that means if we added up all the scores and divided by 30, we would get 43. So if we take the 43 and times by 30, what do we get? 43 multiplied by 30 to 1,290. So that means that in Class A, the total of their marks is 1,290. And we know the total for both classes, so if we take them away, we can find the total for Class B. So 2,400, take away the 1,290 would be equal to 1,110. So that means that in Class B, the total of all their scores is 1,110, because we know that the two totals have to add together to be 2,400. So it means in Class B, their total was 1,110. We know in Class B there's 20 students, so if we divide by 20, we can find the mean. So if we divide by 20, we get that's equal to 55.5. So that means the mean test score in Class B was 55.5, and that's it.
And that's it. So in this video, we've gone through best buys, currency, and the combined mean. Now, hopefully these are topics that you'll find hopefully quite straightforward, but I highly recommend having a look at the practice questions, because with these questions, you're not entirely sure what context or situation they might come up with. So doing a range of different styles of questions on them will just mean that you're much more confident whenever you're going into the exam and you see these questions. So keep up the hard work. You're doing fantastically well. Tomorrow's going to be 81 days to go into your GCSE Maths exam, and we're going to be looking at 3D trigonometry and 3D Pythagoras. So as well as doing those practice questions, if you need a bit of a recap on those, feel free to go back and watch those videos, or look at your notes, or look at your revision cards, and hopefully tomorrow we'll do some fantastic work on 3D Pythagoras and trigonometry. So see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Cheers. Bye.